Good evening, everyone. This is Robert from RJL 518, welcoming you to another edition of Inside Pitch Baseball. This game is not from the one and gone. We'll have that a little later. But now that I've now correlated the 1977 season, and I had to choose a game from that. And I'm choosing a game that pretty much maybe I might get blackballed. For. The date is as Philip Reynolds joins me. The date is August 21st, 1977. And today's game, we got Tom Seaver on the mound. However, he is not pitching for the Mets. This was the first start that Seaver would have since the Midnight Massacre in the trade with Tom Seaver, and of course the Mets getting Henderson, Flynn, Zachary, Norman, and pretty much what a lot of people call the worst trade ever in the history of baseball. I don't know if it's a worst trade ever, but it certainly was a trade that every Met fan pretty much wanted to burn down Shea Stadium after it was done. So I know if Tony at CP Cards and Dice sees me playing this game, he might not be happy seeing Tom Seaver in the Reds colors. But that's what it'd be. And plus, when I do the 1977 one and gone tournament after we're done with 64 for Inside Pitch, Seaver will, of course, be in the Reds uniform. So he'll be pitching for them. The game is at Shea Stadium. The Reds originally won this game 5-1. It was Tom Seaver versus Jerry Koosman, and that's actually a pretty good pitching matchup, although Koosman had a rough year, although his ERA still wasn't too bad. I mean, he still had a 3.49 ERA, which is not bad. I mean, that's pretty decent. He was 8-20. The Mets were just absolute, I don't know, the Babe Ruth trade with the Red Sox and the Yankees, perhaps, but, the thing about it is that Babe Ruth, all right, Babe Ruth was popular, yes, but he wasn't Tom Seaver popular yet at that time. Babe Ruth became Babe Ruth while he was with the Yankees. Babe Ruth was not truly the Babe, all right, when he was still with the Red Sox. Tom Seaver was the Tom Seaver, and when the Mets traded him to the Reds, every Mets fan just really wanted to burn Shea Stadium down. And Shea Stadium was a new park. It was still only 13 years old at the time. So I know there'll be some Met fans that'll blackball me for this game, but I figured it would be a good game to play for the 1977 season as I continue my inside pitch history of baseball. Starting pitcher for the 1977 New York Mets will be Jerry Koosman. Still had Ryan was gone. Are you kidding me? Ryan was gone. Ryan is in California. Ryan's with the Angels in 77. He's gone. He left before Seaver did. We traded him away we got him rid of him. We let him go before Seaver. Ryan's gone. Ryan's not on the Mets in 77. This 77 Mets team was awful. And I mean awful. Dead last in the National League East, 64 wins. They were terrible. And a lot of people say maybe the worst team ever. I don't know. I kind of think maybe the 63 or 64 Mets may have been worse. I know they had a little less wins, but this team was just awful. So Koosman will start for the Mets here in the top of the first inning. Let's play a little baseball. We are in the Mets, the home team, so we'll use blue, white, and the red main dyes. And we'll go ahead. I'll introduce the players as they lead off. The Cincinnati Reds in 1977 had 94. They finished 10 games behind the Dodgers in the National League West, but they were still a heck of a team. Still a lot of remains from the Big Red Machine in 1977. Of course, the Reds did not, after winning 2 championships in 75 and 76, the Dodgers finally beat them out. And, of course, the Dodgers lost to the Yankees in 77. 1977, a lot of people... in 1977, a lot of people say that this is one of the most loved seasons in history. It really is. I ask a lot of people when I do the 1977 one and gone, David Baseball Demos did an entire White Sox season for it. Tony CP Cards and Dice is doing an inside pitch Yankees 1977 replay. 77 is one of the more loved baseball seasons in at least by most baseball fans. So the worst team is a tie between Padres and Marlins. No, that's not true. That is not true. A lot worse teams I can think of. Top of the first, here is third baseman Pete Rose leading off for the 1977 Reds. Let's play some ball here as my history of baseball inside pitch style will continue. Koosman, a 2-4 against a switch hitter that he is a right-hander in this case, and that is a star line, and Koosman gets Rose to ground out to third to start the game off, and there is one out. Next batter, second baseman Joe Morgan. May he rest in peace. Koosman, 6'3", strikeout possibility against the lefty, a 5 + 2 is a 7, and he does get the strikeout on Morgan with a 5. As Shea Stadium helps out Jerry Koosman a bit there. Here is right fielder Ken Griffey, the father, not the son. Koosman's pitch, 1-4, that is a blank. Griffey, 5'6". He hits a ball hit into center field, and that is a 4 against the lefty. That's going to be a base hit for Griffey. Single for Ken. And the batter now will be center fielder George Foster. He played center for this game today. 2 outs, infield is normal. Let's see anything on a strat. A 6. Nothing going on. Koosman, 2-1. And that is a possible error on a throw. Foster, 3-6. That is a single into left. That's a single past the third baseman. And that is a base hit. It's a single 5. Actually, it's an infield single to third base. The third baseman is Randall. His error rating is a 9. That's a 16. So there's not going to be an error. Ken Griffey, in order to get to third, and I did not have my sheet here. Ken Griffey, in order to get to third from first to third on a single, he needs to have a 6 base running rating. Even with a 4, he won't do it. So Griffey will have to hold at second base. Another base hit. Runners at first and second, and that brings up the catcher, the Johnny Bench. 2 outs still. Koosman already in a bit of a jam. 4-2 on Koosman. Strikeout. Lefty is a 10 + 2 is a 12. That is a 9, and he strikes out Bench, and he gets out of the jam. No runs for the Reds on 2 hits. We will go to the bottom of the first. And pitching for the 1977 Cincinnati Reds, and to the chagrin of every Mets fan, is Tom Seaver. He finished the year 21-6 with a 2.58 ERA. Why would you trade him? Why? Most loved player in Mets history. And of course, may he rest in peace as well. Leading off for the Mets will be third baseman Lenny Randall. In the bottom of the first. Seaver, 2-1. That's against the switch hitter. That's a switch hitter. He'll be batting from the left side. That's a walk plus 10. 9 + 19 - 1 is 18. And Lenny Randall, he walks. Tom Seaver walks Randall. Puts a runner on first. And now we'll see shortstop Bud Harrelson. Anything on Strat? Strat says an 11, nothing. Infield halfway. 4-3 on Seaver's card, possible error. Harrelson, 2-4. That's a fly ball to center field. That is a fly ball to center field. The center fielder is Foster. He has no error rating. His error rating in center field is a 0. And he will make the catch for the first out. A 1 on the die, but which would have been an error on anybody pretty much, unless they have an error rating of 0. And George Foster has error ratings in left field. His error rating in left is a 2, but in center it is a 0. He had a perfect field. I guess he had a great field percentage in center. Here is left fielder Steve Henderson, one of the players the Mets traded for in the Midnight Massacre. That is a 7. Randall's attempt rating's a 6. And with 7 allows a hit and run. And why not? We'll do a hit and run. Hit and run is on. 3-2. And that is a star line on Seaver. And that is going to be a fly out to left. So the hit and run doesn't work. As Henderson flies out, and Randall needs to go back to first base. 2 outs, and now here's Ed Cranepool, the right fielder. Infield is now normal. Anything on Strat? A 1. Randall could steal here if he wants. Stolen base rating of 12. Seaver +1 is a 3. But Bench Bench did not really have an arm in that, so it'd be a 1-13 for Randall to steal second. With Cranepool bat 281. Nah, I'll let him swing. 1-5 on Seaver's card, hit by pitch with a -10 and a 0 on Cranepool. No hit by pitch. Cranepool will swing 3-6. He flies out to right. Nothing for the Mets. They did have a walk, and at the end of 1, we got no score. I'm going to turn on my back light here, get a little more light. I was hoping to get a little bit more natural light, but the sun is beginning to go down here in South Florida. Let's make it easier for you guys to see the playing field. Top of the second, Koosman comes back out. See if the Mets maybe can get a little revenge, but Tom Seaver pitched a gem in that game in August. Here is the shortstop, Dave Concepcion, top of the second inning. A 1-6 on Koosman, that's at the ballpark. Shea Stadium 4-3, that's a star line too. Concepcion grounds out to short. Yeah, excuse me. Here's first baseman Dan Dreesen. Koosman's pitch, 3-4. And against a lefty, that is a walk possibility. A 9, -1 is an 8. That's a 6. He walks Dreesen. 1 out walk. And here is left fielder Ed Armbrister. He got the call for this game. Anything on Strat? A 14. Nothing going on. Infield halfway. And that is fouled away. I'll re-roll it. Didn't make the counter, the tower. 5-3 strikeout. 17 +2 is a 19, and he strikes out Armbrister. 2 outs. And now the batter is the pitcher, Tom Seaver, and I would like to say they had 46,000 fans on hand for this game on that August night in 1977. Tom Seaver got a massive round of applause. No Mets fan wanted to see him gone. Yet, with all of Tom Seaver's greatness, the only championship he ever won was the Mets in 1969. The only title he ever won. He would win a couple of Cy Youngs later. He would win his 300th game with the Chicago White Sox in 1984, which actually I did for Payoff Pitch in a tribute game to him. Infield back to normal. Koosman will pitch to the pitcher. 5-4, that is a strikeout possibility, and Seaver with a 26. You already know he strikes out, and that will end the inning. Nothing for the Reds, except for a base on balls. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Leading off for the Mets will be first baseman John Milner. Geez, some of these names bring back so many memories. This 1977 season was pretty much maybe the first real season of baseball I really started following. When I started really following baseball, I was only 7 years old, 8 years old at this time. I now was just really beginning to follow the baseball. I was a huge Yankees fan as a kid. I was a huge Mets fan as a kid. I liked the Mets more than I did the Yankees a little bit, but yes, I did root for the Yankees in 77, 78 for the likes of Reggie Jackson, Bucky Dent, Greg Nettles, Lou Piniella, the classic Yankees of the 70s. Seaver will pitch. 4-1. That is a strikeout. Righty +2 is, that's 8 + 2 is 10. That's a 3. Milner goes down. 1 out. First strikeout for Seaver. Brings up the catcher, Ron Hodges. 5-6 on Seaver's card. Range play at the ballpark. Hodges 5. Shea Stadium 5-3. That's a ground out to third. And now center fielder Lee Mazzilli, the New York Playboy of the time. Of course, he would leave the Mets. The Mets would trade him away a while and then get him back for 1986 to help him win the World Series there. 2-2 on Seaver's card, a switch hitter, and a switch hitter becomes a lefty, and that is a home run chance for Mazzilli against a righty. That is a 6. He needs a 6, but a 10 is too high, so no homer for Mazzilli. He will swing. And that is a 6-1, and he grounds out to first. 1-2-3 inning for Tom Terrific. Still no score at the end of 2. Top of the third coming up. Pete Rose, the batter for the Reds. It still amazes me. Here I am playing a baseball game with 1977 cards, playing a game, and yet I actually remember opening up baseball card packs with the Topps 1977 baseball cards for 77 players, and they were, I guess I'm old. Terry Koosman will pitch. That is a 3-1 strikeout. 4 + 2 is a 6. 18 no strikeout. Rose will swing. That is a 2-6, and that is a star line 3, and he grounds out to second. 1 man down, and here is Joe Morgan. Koosman 3-3, double question mark, against the lefty, a 1-11. It's a single past the pitcher. It's a 14. He does not. So Morgan will get the swing. 3-5, and he singles to right. Base hit for Morgan. He'll go to first, and that will bring up Ken Griffey. Anything infield halfway, anything for Griffey, anything on Strat. A 12. Let's see here. Nothing going on. Nothing there. Koosman 3-2. Possible error on a grounder. 3-4, and that is a single past second base. That's a base hit. Morgan's base running rating is a 3, and it has to be a 3. It has to be a 3 in order for him to get to third, and he does. So Joe Morgan will get to third base on a single past second base. Past second base. Now it is now an 18. The ball was hit by a second baseman, and that was Doug Flynn. His error rating is a 12. There's no error with an 18 there. So it's just runners at first and third and 1 out. And here is George Foster. Infield staying halfway. Tell you what, wait, let's roll re-stroll strat. 16, nothing happening. Koosman will pitch. 2-4, and that's a star line against Foster. That's a star line against a righty. It is a 2. It's a ground ball to short. Do they turn 2? Double play rating 2, 0. Plus the 1 here is a 3. The ball is hit to shortstop, which means Flynn has the pivot, and his pivot arm is a 0. A 1-3, they will turn the double play. It is a 6. They do not. So Griffey will go to second base. Foster is out. Morgan scores, and the Reds are ahead 1-0, as they could not turn the double play. But the Reds do get a run. So that is a fielder's choice. And that scores Morgan. And now Griffey is on its second. And the batter now is Bench with 2 outs. Could not turn it. Koosman's pitch, 2-5, blank. Johnny Bench, 5-1. He pops out to third. And that will end the inning. 1 run for the Reds on a hit. On one hit, and a walk. Actually, I'm sorry, it's 2 hits, isn't it? 2 hits. I'm sorry, 1 run on 2 hits. And we go to the bottom of the third inning with the Reds now leading having a 1-0 lead. Here comes Tom Terrific, albeit wearing a Reds uniform. Here is Doug Flynn. He is the second baseman for the Mets in this game, and he's the other player that the Mets traded for in that Midnight Massacre. Seaver will pitch. 4-4, strikeout. Right-hander, 6 + 2 is 8, 17 too high. Flynn gets a chance to swing. 6-4 for him, and he grounds out to second base. And that will bring up the pitcher, Jerry Koosman. Seaver, 5-2, strikeout, and he'll strike out Koosman. With a 27, you don't need to even worry about the die roll. And now Lenny Randall. 3-2 on Seaver's card, Starline. And that is going to be a fly out to center and a 1-2-3 inning for Seaver. Nothing going on for Seaver, for the Mets in that one. They're still down 1-0 to Tom Seaver's return to New York, although in a Reds uniform. One of my subs wanted me to maybe play Seaver's last game as a Met. I said, I think the more important game was Seaver returning to the scene of the crime, shall we say, would be the bigger game to play. Top of the 4th inning, Dave Concepcion leads off for the Reds. And give me a second here. While is he flying? 827. He's got 29 batters. He can go. And Seaver is 31. So 9, 8, 27, 8, 9, 31. Put that there. Here's Koosman's pitch. 2-4 against the righty. That's a star line. And that's going to be a fly out to right. Here's Dan Dreesen. Koosman, 5-3, strikeout. Lefty, plus 10 + 2 is 12, a 6. He gets Dreesen to strike out. 2 outs. That is the 4th strikeout by Jerry Koosman. And now Ed Armbrister. 2-3 for Koosman. That is a walk plus 10, and that'll make that an easy walk for Armbrister. Both his ratings are 17 against both, so he will easily walk. But walking Armbrister isn't really much hurt because here's Tom Seaver to bat. Anything going on? A 16. Seaver. You're not gonna bunt. Was there 1 out or 2 out? There's 2 outs. You're not gonna bunt. Seaver will hit away. Koosman 3-1 strikeout, and he strikes out Seaver. And that is the 5th strikeout by Koosman. So no runs, no hits, no errors, a walk. And the Reds still lead this game 1-0 over the Mets. Here comes Bud Harrelson leading off for the blue pinstripes. .6-4 on Seaver's card, strikeout against the righty. 6 + 2 is 8. That's a 3. He strikes out Harrelson. And that is strikeout number 3 for Tom Terrific. And now Steve Henderson. 4-1, another strikeout possibility. A 9 is going to do it there against the righty. He'll strike out Henderson. Strikeout number 4 for the franchise. And now Ed Kranepool with 2 outs, I should say. 6-6 Seaver's card, range play. Kranepool, 4-1, single to right field. The ball is headed to Griffey. His range is a 3. Does he turn that into an out? He does not. He does not. Now, does that stay a single, or does that now become a double? That now stays a single, so Kranepool will stay at first. Actually, it wouldn't have made a change, actually. It would have been still a single. It would have been a single anyway. But Kranepool, and that's the first hit off of Tom Seaver in this game. So Seaver gives up his first hit to his old team, and it took 4 innings to do it. Here is John Milner. And he strap roll. That is a 3. No hit and run, 2 outs. Seaver will pitch 4-2. And that's a strikeout against the lefty. That is an 8 plus 2 is a 10. That is a 12. Milner does not strike out. He will swing. 2-4 for Milner, and he flies out to right, and that will end the inning. Nothing for the Mets. They do get a hit. And at the end of 4, the Reds still lead this game 1-0. Top of the 5th in this 1977 game between the Reds and the Mets. 1978 will be the next season I'll do in my history of baseball inside pitch style. Don't know yet what game I'll choose from there. Probably someone will shoot me an idea. Jerry Koosman will pitch to Pete Rose, who leads off. Charlie Hustle will be batting first. 2-4 on Koosman's card, and and Rose is a switch hitter, but he's hitting from the right side, and that's a star line, and that's going to be a ground out to second. 1 out. Joe Morgan will come up. Koosman's pitch, 1-3, strikeout. 5 plus 2 is a 7. That's a 4. He strikes out Morgan. Koosman having a good night. Another strikeout. And that is the 6th strikeout for Koosman. 2 down. And now Ken Griffey. 1-6. That's at the ballpark. 1-3 at Shea Stadium, and that's just a typical ground out to second. And a 1-2 inning for Koosman. Koosman having a good game himself. In the original game, as I said, the Reds won this game 5-1. There were 14 hits combined between the two, and the Mets had 2 errors in this ball game. And so far, we are way under that, as both pitchers are doing a great job. Bottom of the 5th, here's Seaver, and Ron Hodges will bat. 4-4 on Caesar's card, strikeout. That is a 7 that will get him out. Hodges goes down on strikes. That is strikeout number 5 for Tom Terrific. Lee Mazzilli, the batter. 3-3 on Seaver's card. And again, Mazzilli is hitting from the left side. That's going to be a blank. Mazzilli swings 2-5, star line 5, and he flies out to center. And now Doug Flynn. As I said, I might get blackballed for this game because I'm actually pitching with Seaver in the Reds jersey, but we're going to see him again anyway because we'll be doing a 1977 one and gone tournament as soon as I complete the 64. Let's see, 6-1 on Seaver's card, a home run check, and Flynn's a righty, and a 1-17, that's a 10. That does pass the check. Flynn, however, has no home run, so it won't matter. That becomes a blank, and there's no change at Shea Stadium, so Flynn will hit. A 2-1, and he just grounds out to short. Lots of dice rolls, but nothing there. And it still remains 1-0 Reds at the end of 5. Top of the 6th. Here comes Foster. Foster is 1 for 2. 5-2 on Koosman's card. That's a range play at the ballpark. 3-6, and that's going to be a fly ball center field. The ball is into Mazzilli. His range is a 3. He will not make the play. Is that a single or a double? That is a single. Foster, as Mazzilli could not get to it in time, he'll take it on the hop. Foster goes to first on a base hit. That's Foster's second hit of the game. And now Johnny Bench. Anything on Strat? A 12, nothing. Infield half. $15. Let's see what we got here. 4-2 for Koosman. Strikeout. And that is a 15. And against the lefty, 10 plus 2 is the 12. The 15 is too high. He does not. Bench does not strike out. It will be a 5-2 on Bench, and he doubles to center field. Bench gets a double. Foster's base running rating is a 3 to get to it, and that adds for a double to center field. It adds a +1, so it makes a 4. The center fielder is Mazzilli. He has no arm rating. So a 1-4, Foster will score from first on the blue die. It is a 4. He does score. Johnny Bench blasts a double into center, rolls all the way to the wall. Foster will score. Bench stays at second, and the Reds now lead it 2-0. 1978 Tom Seaver, a Bob Forsch no-hitter, Pete Rose, 3000 hit, Will McCumbie. Thank you, Tribe fan, and welcome to Shea Stadium, by the way. I'll go ahead and take a look at all of those, see what I want to do. I might not do Tom Seaver because I'm already doing him, so maybe I'll do Willie McCovey or something like that. I haven't really done the Padres. Might give the Padres a crack. We'll see what happens. But thank you for the idea. Double for Bench. Runner comes in. 2-1, 2-0 Reds. Here is Concepcion. Infield is back to normal. Anything on Strat? 17. Bunt rating of 3. No. Nothing happening. Koosman, 3-2. Possible error on a grounder. Concepcion, 4-3. And that is a ball hit to left against that is a 7. And that is going to be a double for Dave Concepcion as he hits a double to left off of Koosman. Bench will score. Concepcion goes to third. And checking an error on a grounder. The ball was hit to left field. The left fielder is Henderson. His error rating is a 4. And we re-roll the die because we used that 7 already, and that's a 12. There'll be no error. So Concepcion holds at second base, but the Reds now take a 3-0 lead. 2 consecutive a base hit, and 2 consecutive doubles, and the Reds are now beginning to pull away. And here is Dan Dreesen. And still, nobody out in the top of the 6th. Koosman, 6-4, range play. Dreesen, 5-6. That's a ground ball to second base. Flynn, his range is a 3. He will not make the play, and that's going to be a base hit. That'll be a single 4. That turns into a single 4. And with a base running rating of 4, Concepcion will score from second. Dreesen goes to first. And it is now 4-0. As the Reds now begin to mount up the hits. To get from second to home on a single past the second base, your base running rating has to be a 2, and that was no problem at all. Dan Dreesen on at first, and now the Met bullpen warming up here. And here is Ed Armbrister coming in for the Reds. Infield back to halfway. Koosman's pitch, 5-6, a possible home run against a righty, a 1-8. That's a 2. That passes the check. Armbrister against the lefty is a 4. A 1-4 on the blue die. There's no change here from Shea Stadium. A 1-4 on the blue die, and it's gone. It is an 8. It's not a home run, so now it just becomes a regular hit. Armbrister swings 1-3. He grounds one to second base. His double play rating is a 5. Nothing from Koosman. With the infield half becomes a 6. And the pivot rating at shortstop for is Harrelson's a 0. It's a 6. So it's 6 is a double play, so it is an automatic 4-6-3 double play. Armbrister grounds into a 4-6-3, and that is 2 outs. And that will bring up Seaver. Koosman's pitch, 2-5. That's a blank. Seaver, 5-5. Starline 5. He flies out to center. And that will end the inning. The Reds get themselves 3 runs on 4 hits. And now lead it 4-0 going to the bottom of the 6th. Jerry Koosman was due to bat first, but he is going to be done, giving up 4 runs. So the Mets are going to go to the bench. That'll be it for Koosman. He hadn't pitched a beautiful game until things rail up here. Down 4-0. The Mets are going to go to the bench early. We got a righty, so we got Seaver on the mound. So the Mets will probably bring in a lefty to bat against him. Now let's see who they got to use, who was available for this game. And they're going to go with Bruce Beauclair. He will pinch hit against Seaver. Bottom of the 6th inning, 4-0 Reds. Seaver will pitch, 5-4, strikeout, an 11, a 12. That's going to do it because an 11 plus 2 is 13 by the stadium. Shea Stadium hurts Beauclair, and that is a strikeout. And that is strikeout number 6 for Seaver. Top of the order now for the Mets. There's Randall. 1-1 Starline. And that's a ground out to short. And now Bud Harrelson. 1-1 again on Seaver. That's another Starline. And that's a fly ball to right. And Seaver is just mowing down his old team. Nothing across. Still 4-0 Cincinnati. Top of the 7th coming up. And it's also the top of the order for the Reds. Pete Rose will lead off, and then you got 2 lefties behind him. So I think they'll go ahead and bring in a left-hander to pitch. And let's see who they're going to bring in. They're going to bring in Bob Myrick. He will pitch to Rose. He's got 8 batters, so that means he can pitch to here. Bob Myrick will pitch to Pete Rose, starting the top of the 7th inning. 4-4 on Myrick's card, strikeout possibility, and that is a 20, no strikeout, definitely no strikeout, not on Rose. Rose hits 6-1, Starline 5, he flies out to center. And now here's Joe Morgan. Myrick, 4-1, range play at the park. 1-6, that's a fly ball to center field. The ball is at the Mazzilli. His range is a 3. His range is a 3. Does he make it? He does not, and that is a base hit. And is that a single or a double? And that's going to be a single. Morgan will hold it first. And now we'll see Ken Griffey. Let's see. No strat roll as the Reds right now. Have it's 4 runs plus inning. So it's right now it's 11. So there's no strat roll. So now everything is going to be normal unless the Mets try to make a comeback here. Infield halfway. Myrick will pitch 5-5, walk plus 10. And against the left, that's a 20. -1 is a 19 and an 18. He still walks Griffey. Griffey barely gets the walk there. Runners at first and second for George Foster. Infield staying halfway. Myrick, 5-1, strikeout. 16 is going to be too high. Foster, 5-1. He grounds one to third. And where is that hit? And that's a ground ball to third. It's in the hole. So in order to get the double play, he'll have to go second to first. Foster's double play rating 2, +1, 3, +1, 4. The third baseman and that second baseman is pivot, which is Flynn. He has no pivot rating. 1 to 4, they'll turn it. It is a 1, and they do. Third base to second base to first base, inning over. Grounds out into the 5-4-3. One hit for the Reds, but that's it. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Tom Seaver staying out there, and why wouldn't he? He's pitching a gem. And here's Steve Henderson. He's pitching a shutout, as a matter of fact. 2-3 on Seaver's card at the park. 5-2. That's a ball hit to left of 14 against a right-handed pitcher, and that is going to be a triple for Steve Henderson. If somebody finally gets past Seaver, that is a triple. On a 14 and against a right-hander, that is a hit. Hold a minute. Timeout. I think I just made a mistake. Let me do that again. It was a range play at the ballpark, right? So 5-2. No, I'm not. It's off of not Henderson. It's off of Shea Stadium. My bad. 5-2. It's a range play at the ballpark. It's a range play at the ballpark, right? Or is it just at the ballpark? That was at the ballpark. That's right, because a 2-3. It's at the ballpark. So, and it's a 5-2. I don't read off Henderson's card. I read off of Shea Stadium's card. We go to here. That's an out. That's a fly out to left. No bad. Good thing I checked myself. 1 out. That's a fly out. That's off of this card, not off of Henderson's card. Only off of Henderson's card if it comes a hit like here. 1 out. Now Ed Kranepool. So still nobody on base. Seaver, 4-5. And that is a blank against the lefty. Kranepool swings 4-1. Now that is a single to right. And Kranepool goes to first. And Kranepool is 2 for 3. He has the only hits for the Mets in this game. And now John Milner. 1 out, infield halfway. No strat. Seaver, 4-5. Against the lefty, that's a blank. Milner, 2-5. That's a fly ball to right. And here is Ron Hodges. 3-2 on Seaver's card. That's a star line. He'll get out of this. That's a fly ball to left. And the Mets continue to have nothing doing against their old pitcher. There was a hit, but that is it. At the end of 7, 4-0 Reds. As the Mets do not have anything against their old guy, Tom Seaver. I still don't know how Seaver felt coming back to the Mets. I know he was mad at the organization for not making the contracts, for not getting the contract he wanted, but I know he wasn't mad at the fans. I know that. And the fans were devastated after that trade. And all Tom Seaver does is just continue to pitch well for Cincinnati for the next few years, for the next several years. Top of the 8th inning, here is Johnny Bench. He'll lead off for the Reds. Bench doubled his last time up. Myrick still has a few batters he can face. Actually, well, doesn't matter. I already made the roll. 6-5 on Myrick's card. And that is a walk plus 10. And that becomes a 20. And he'll walk Bench. Now the batter is Dave Concepcion with a runner on first. Infield half. 5-1 strikeout. That's a 5, and he will strike out Concepcion. He gets him to go down. Dan Dreesen is next. Infield still halfway. Myrick 4-2, possible error on a throw. 1-1, Starline 1. That is a ground ball. That's a ground ball to second base. The ball is hit to Flynn. His error rating is a 12. That's a 10, and it will be an error. It will be an error. Now, here's how we got to do this, because this can get complicated because you're trying for a double play. So first, you're trying for a double play, but there is an error on the throw. So we know that going for the double play is a 2, plus 1 is a... Well, first we already know he makes an error. So 2, we got to see who... He's going to throw to shortstop because he's the second baseman, so the shortstop's the pivot guy. Okay. Harrelson's range is a 5. Does he prevent the ball from getting past him? It's a 1. He does. So it's a 1-base error, and nobody is out. Simple as that. Just got to find out who he throws because he's relaying it to the shortstop. Then it would go back to first. But Harrelson prevented the ball from getting past him. So it was a bad throw. And now you got runners at first and second. And that is an E4. Sometimes these basing can get a little complicated. And that's only the first error. And that's only the first error on the Mets in this game. Sometimes you can steal. What did you miss? Nothing much. You're just seeing Tom Seaver go ahead. And I'm playing the August 21st, 1977 game. Tom Seaver returns to the Mets, but in a Reds uniform for the first time since the Midnight Massacre. And the Reds are leading 4-0. Tom Seaver pitching a gem. Jerry Koosman started, and he got off to a good start, but Koosman kind of ran out of gas. Check the replay. You'll see what it is. I might get blackballed for this game by some Mets fans, most notably probably Tony CP Cards and Dice. Because I know he hates seeing Tom Seaver on any card, all right, not in a Mets card. Whether it's inside pitch, Stratomatic, payoff pitch, I know he hates that. But runners at first and second, an error now allows Ed Armbrister to come up for the Reds. Still 1 out. A big error. And the infield is still halfway. Myrick is the pitcher. He'll pitch to Armbrister. And that is a 6-2. And against a righty, that is a blank. Armbrister swings 4-2. And he singles to left field. That's a base hit for Armbrister. Single to left field. So Johnny Bench's base running rating is a 2. It becomes a 3 in order to score. The ball is hit to left field. Henderson's arm is a 0. So a 1-3, Bench will score from second. It is a 6, and it is a 6. So the lead runner advances. So Bench does score from second base. But Danny Dreesen is caught in a rundown. And that is a 3. And that is equal to his run. That is equal. It's got to be, if less than or equal to batter, base runner out, others advance. So Dreesen is out, trying to go out to third base. Armbruster is safe at first. And Armbruster actually takes second on the throw, but it's 5-0 Reds. That can get a little confusing sometimes. That's a little bit why I think sometimes the base running can be a little wonky. But there are 2 outs, but a run does come in. So Bench does score from second. Dreesen is out, and Armbruster is at second. And now Tom Seaver will bat, and he'll come up to bat. Why not? Myrick will pitch. He's due to bat third. He is now tired. 1-4, a walk plus 10, a 15. Seaver will not walk. Seaver swings 6-1, and Tom Seaver belts a base hit. He gets a single. Armbruster, his base running rating is a 2, becomes a 3, and he will score from second. Seaver goes to first, 6-0 Reds, as Tom Seaver puts a little bit more icing on that cake. 6-0 Reds as Tom Seaver gets an RBI base hit. And now Pete Rose. 2 outs. They're trying to keep Myrick up there just to see if he can get out. He's due to bat third in the bottom of the 8th inning. But this game is getting away from the Mets here. 3-2, and that is a possible error on a grounder. Rose 5-5. That is a ground ball to second base. The ball is hit to Flynn. His error rating is a 12, but a 19. He will not make the error. And that is a nice play by Flynn. He'll throw to first and get the final out. 2 runs for the Reds on 2 hits, a walk, and an error. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Reds lead it 6-0. Bob Myrick will come out because he's due to bat third, so we'll definitely see a pinch hitter. Lee Mazzilli will lead off for the Mets here in the bottom of the 8th. Seaver's pitch, 6-5, possible grounder error. Error grounder, 3-2. That's a fly out to right. So no error there. Here is Doug Flynn. Like I said, I can think the base running can be a little wonky, but I still like it. I actually still like it better than Payoff Pitch, actually, when it comes to the base running. 3-5. And Seaver is not tired, so that's a blank. Flynn, 3-1. Starline, 6, fly out to right. 2 men down, and now we'll see a pinch hitter for the Mets. See if they got anybody. See if they got any lefties left on the mound. I don't think they do. They did not have many players, I think, available for this. Let me see. Nope. So they'll have to go. So I'll just take the best at bat. And it will be Joel Youngblood will come up to bat against Seaver with 2 outs. 5-3 for Seaver. That's a blank. Youngblood, 3-2. Starline, 5. He flies out to center. And a 1-2-3 inning for the Mets. As Tom Seaver is just coming in here and dominating his whole team. 6-0 Reds. We go to the top of the 9th. See a new pitcher for the Mets. They got 2 lefties and a righty coming up for the Reds. So we'll see probably a lefty for the Mets. Let's see who they want to bring in. And that will be Paul Siebert. He'll come on and pitch for the Mets. Joe Morgan leads off, top of the 9th. Doesn't look like we're going to see any 9th inning magic here. Siebert's pitch, 5-1, blank. Morgan, 2-5. Starline, 2. He flies out to right. And here's Ken Griffey. 1-2. That's a blank. Griffey, 5-3. That's a single into center field for a base hit. Base hit for Griffey, and that is his third hit of the game. He's 3 for 4, and he walked. So third hit of the game for Ken Griffey. And now Foster, infield halfway. One 3 strikeout against the lefty. 11 plus 2 is a 13. 19 too high. Foster will swing. That's a 3-3, and Foster, he singles to left. Griffey's base running rating is a 3. That's a -2 in order to get to third base. Henderson has no arm, so a 1-3. A 1-3, Griffey will get a 1. He needs a 1 in order to get to third base. It's a 2. He doesn't. So Griffey will hold at second. And here's Johnny Bench. But still 1 out. Boy, these Mets were bad. 77 Mets were bad. 5-3. That's at the ballpark. Shea Stadium, 2-5. Starline, 3. And that is a ground ball to second. Bench double play rating, 2. -1 from Seaver is a 1. The pivot man's a 0. So the only way the Mets turn a double play is with a 1. They don't. So they do not turn the double play. So Griffey goes to third. Foster's base running rating is a 3. It's lower than the 4. So Foster is out at second. Bench does get to first on a fielder's choice. But there are 2 outs. And here's Dave Concepcion. 5-4 on Siebert's card. Strikeout possibility. That's a 2, and he will get Concepcion. No runs for the Reds. There were a couple of hits. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Cincinnati leading 6-0. And Tom Seaver is going to try to get a complete game out of this. And trust me, with the way that Seaver, I'm pretty sure that I have a feeling that the Met fans at this time did not mind Seaver coming in here and getting a win for the Reds, because I know the Met fans were heartbroken when he was traded. So they were cheering, and I had a feeling they were probably cheering for Seaver a lot. This wasn't Seaver's fault. Bottom of the ninth inning. Top of the batting order, though, for the Mets and Lenny Randall. Seaver has 4 batters before he gets tired. The final score of this game was 5-1 originally, and the Reds now have all the 6 runs in this one. I call that pretty realistic. 4-1 strikeout. That's a 17 too high. Randall 1-1. Starline 3 flies out to right. Tom Seaver with those flyouts. You can always tell what kind of a pitcher he is. Notice he has 5 flyouts and 1 ground out. So Tom Seaver was a fly ball pitcher. Here's Bud Harrelson. At least in 1977 he was. 1-4 for Seaver. Range play. Harrelson 3-5. Fly ball to left field. That's Armbrister. His range is a 2. It's a 4. He will not make the play. And that's going to be a single. So Harrelson gets a base hit. And now Steve Henderson, one of the players that was traded for Seaver. Ugh. Really? 1 out, infield halfway. Seaver 4-6. That is a star line. That's a star line against a righty. And that is a star line 5, and he flies out to center for 2 outs. And the last chance for the Mets will be Ed Kranepool. And he has 2 of the 3 hits against Seaver in this game. Seaver, 3-5, blank. He's not tired. Cranepool, 6-2, ground ball to second base. Up with it is Joe Morgan. Pumps once, pumps twice, throws to first, and that will do it. No runs, a hit for the Mets, and that will do it. Tom Seaver pitches a complete game, a complete 6-0 shutout against the Mets on his return to Shea Stadium in 1977. Give you guys a final line score here. For the Reds, 6 runs, 15 hits, and no errors. For the Mets, no runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. Of course, Tom Seaver gets the win. Complete game shutout. Jerry Koosman took the loss. There was no save. There were 6 runs scored in the original game. The Reds got all 6 of the runs here in this one. There were 14 hits in that game. We got 18 in this one. There were 2 errors by the Mets and 1 error in this game. So, in my opinion, I think that's pretty close. I don't think Inside Pitch could have done a better job. And that will do it here for Shea Stadium. And that will do it. So congratulations to Tom Seaver getting a complete hit shutout, a 6-0 shutout on the Mets in his return to Shea Stadium on August 21, 1977. And that will do it for me here. I'm probably just going to take maybe about an hour break, but I'm ready to play the next game of the 64 one and gone between the Milwaukee Braves and the Chicago White Sox. So stand by, people. For those of you who want to catch that, I'll be doing that game probably about an hour or so. So be ready to watch that exciting game. Thank you, Steeler fan, Tribe fan, and Philip Reynolds for joining me for a little inside pitch action. We'll see you guys later. Stay safe, healthy, smart, and strong. The Reds shut the Mets out 6-0 in Tom Seaver's return to Shea. Take care, everyone. See you guys in a little bit.